Are you looking to buy a brand new Tesla? Well, I get it. It can be pretty intimidating because there's quite a few models to choose from, and within each Tesla model, there's quite a few options to pick from. And it can be confusing which ones are worth buying and which ones are not worth buying at all, not even worth looking at. So consider this a complete beginner's guide on how to buy a Tesla online, what options to choose that are right for you, and by the end of the video, you'll become an absolute expert. So stick around. Let's go to Tesla.com. Myself personally, I have a Tesla Model Y long range, so I'll be using the Tesla Model Y as an example. Once you arrive at this page, you'll be greeted with the refreshed Model 3. And of course, if you want to go with this, you hit the custom order, or you can scroll down with the Model Y, scroll down further, and you're greeted with the Model X, and then further down is Model S. So I'm gonna go with Model Y because that's the one that I've bought and that's the one that I'm familiar with. So here it is. We have the Tesla Model Y. And once you arrive here, you'll be greeted by the $7,500 federal tax, which says that eligible buyers receive $7,500 off the purchase price of all new Model Y deliveries, right? So we'll touch on that in a bit. But before we do, let's look at the Tesla Model Y. So Tesla Model Y, we have the estimated delivery from Jan to February 2024. So at the time I'm filming this, it's January 21st, 2024. So you see the turnaround time is pretty quick. So if I go down here, don't be deceived because this for some reason by default, it's set to probable savings, and you see this little star. When you go down here, all prices assume a $7,500 IRA federal tax credit, and not all customers qualify. So you want to use the purchase price to give a more accurate representation of what they're charging you, what Tesla's charging you for when you do buy a Tesla from them. So we see here we have the rear wheel model drive. That's for $43,990. And that includes the rear wheel drive option. The rear wheel drive option has the LFP battery, which means it'll have these stats. And these stats include 260 miles of range, 135 miles per hour top speed, and a 6.6 second 0 to 60 time. Of course, the more you pay and the more you go down here and go into the dual motor category, all of this pretty much shoots up. The one that I went with is the Model Y long range. And you'll see that the range jumps up to 310 miles and the top speed, I believe, is the same at 135 miles per hour, but the 0 to 60 takes a dramatic jump to 4.8 seconds of 0 to 60. And that price is $48,990. And let's go down to Model Y Performance, $52,490. And the range actually drops down here because it's more performance. You don't have the aero wheels, but I'll jump into all the options in a second. But your range actually drops down to 285. Your top speed goes up at 155 miles per hour, and the 0 to 60 at 3.5. And you also get a bunch of different add-ons like red brake calipers, upgraded rims, and a rear spoiler, and it's lowered suspension as well. But I'm going to be using the Model Y long range because I want the most range, and you get the best middle ground of everything that you're looking for. You get the range and you get some performance. So let me go scroll down here. And as of now, this keeps changing. When it comes to paint, when we bought our Tesla, the white was free, but now it is, if I click on it, it is $1,000 extra. So pretty much all the paints, the pearl white multi-coat has $1,000. And we also have the blue, the deep blue metallic, also $1,000. The solid black at $2,000. I don't understand that, but it is $2,000. I don't think that's worth it, but that's my personal preference. The ultra red. Now, this is a recent change. Normally they had I believe they had a multi-coat red. This is a new color red that they've included, and it's for $2,000. You know, something to consider. You could always wrap the car, but you kind of want to see how these colors look in person as well, but that is an extra cost. But let's just assume the stealth gray option, and you want to, you know, get it wrapped yourself. So stealth gray, which is also a new color, is included. That's the only free paint option. So I'm gonna go down here, and then the dilemma of the wheels. So here's what I'll say. So there is 19-inch Gemini wheels, and they're included. You'll notice there's no extra cost, so you'll get these aero covers. So with these aero covers, you'll actually gain more range because they're just makes the car more aerodynamic. But if I were to select these upgraded rims at 20 inches, these are called 20-inch induction wheels. These are the ones that I got. These are the $2,000 extra. It does drop the range a little bit because they're not as aerodynamic as the previous ones, as the Gemini wheels. I would recommend skipping these. Only reason is this: you'll save $2,000 and you can actually remove these covers off and replace it with black covers instead, and you'll save yourself a bunch of money. That black covers is like, I don't know, $100 to $200. It's very cheap. And you'll get more range. So it's a win-win all around. So I'd say stick to the 19-inch Gemini wheels. So let me scroll down. And there's an option to add on a tow hitch. Now the tow hitch is $1,000. It depends, you know, do you actually use a tow hitch? Do you tow things often? It has the capability of towing up to 3,500 pounds, which is pretty impressive. Actually, I think I actually saw a video of a Tesla towing a truck, which was pretty cool. But I didn't get it, but that if you do want to get it, that's an extra $1,000. So I'll skip this option for now. Now comes the interior. Now this is a debate between everybody. The black interior is included. So you get the black seats and a wooden panel as well. So me personally, I actually think that the white interior is better looking, but it is extra. So when I click on this, I'll show you what's included. It is actually $1,000 and they call it the black and white interior, not a white interior. And you'll notice that the seats are white. This side panel is white, and it continues on the front dash as white as well. It is extra $1,000, but honestly, it makes your interior pop. Some people are concerned about the stains. Only thing that I've seen actually stain are jeans, but as long as you're careful, as long as you're meticulous of using baby wipes, water, and paper towel, you should be good. You should be good when it comes to food or anything like that. Just be proactive, just be fast, and you'll be good. But if you're really scared, you can get the black interior. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the 1,000. That's because this is my recommendation. And then there's a seating layout. So there's a 5-seater layout. That's the one that I have. It says it's a second row with adjustable seat backs, a forward flat second row for maximum cargo storage, and then electronic full flat releases in trunk. So what that means is that the rear seats do go down with a button in the rear trunk. And this is the configuration that I have, the 5-seat interior. It is included. However, they do have the 7-seater, and this is not always available. This may affect your delivery date. So this is $3,000 extra. However, I have seen reviews where people have said that 7-seater is such little space. It is so negligible that it's not even worth it. So I would actually recommend skipping the 7-seater option. If you honestly want more space in the Model Y, maybe consider the Model X if you have like a big family. But I'll stick with the seating 5 for now. And I'm just gonna go up real quick to see if it's changed the delivery, because one thing to keep in mind, based on your color options, your interior options, it will affect your delivery date. So I picked white with gray exterior, aero rims, and let's see the delivery date. You'll see has not changed. So this will change based on whatever you choose, right? So for example, if I chose the rear wheel drive, let's see if that changes it. Nope, it does not. Model Y Performance, does it change it? No, it does not. So that's great. So I'm gonna keep it as Model Y long range. Let's go back. All of our options are still selected. White interior, great. So it saves that. Okay, up next we have enhanced autopilot, which is a $6,000 option. So with that, you get navigate on autopilot, auto lane change, auto park, summon, and smart summon. So if you want to see what each of these features actually mean and what are you getting when you actually pay that amount, you click on feature details, and auto lane change while driving on the highway will automatically lane change to reposition your car for optimal lane to prepare yourself for merging and exiting your car and overtaking slow cars as well. So that's auto lane change. Next we have is navigate on autopilot. That is automatic driving from highway on-ramp to off-ramp, includes automatic lane change, traffic-aware cruise control with complete stopping and re-engagement, auto steer, and overtaking slow cars in your lane. So auto park, when your Tesla sees an empty spot there, it will try to park. And the reason why I say try is because I've seen a lot of videos fail at it, right? I don't think it does a good job of that. Smart summon, in this case, is when you're at a mall, in front of a mall, you call your Tesla from a parking spot, it will apparently drive itself all the way around to you. I say apparently because I've seen videos where this fails dramatically, and a lot of people complain that it doesn't always work. So something to consider. Summon is the only thing where I actually think does work. So that's when you go in your Tesla app, push your Tesla forward or reverse it within your Tesla app, which is pretty handy if you're in a tight parking spot. So something to consider. However, for $6,000, that's the only real thing that I think personally is of value. So I don't know, something to consider. I mean, if you like the other features that I mentioned, maybe consider that. But I personally skipped enhanced autopilot, and there's some other videos of people saying that it does not worth $6,000. So I'll skip it for now. But if you find these features valuable, go ahead and click add. So next we have full self-driving capability, which is a $12,000 option. With that, your car drives from point A to point B. So a lot of people, when they ask me, is like, hey, is this included by default to Teslas? Can it drive itself? Is a common question I always get. No, it can't drive itself unless you get the full self-driving package. And even with that, you have to be in the seat. You can't be in the back seat, ask your Tesla to drive you around. You have to be there sitting. It'll expect you to have your hands near the steering wheel. It is $12,000. Is it worth it? You can watch a lot of full self-driving videos. Some people say it is. Some people say it needs a lot of work. But the good news is it's only going to get better over time, because as more users, give Tesla information on how their FSD software is handling traffic and real-world situations, it'll only get better over time. So the good news is you can skip it for now, and you can always get it after the fact for your Tesla. So not to worry. Okay, so up next we have charging options. So now previously, mobile connectors used to be included for free for all Teslas, but for some reason, Tesla said, not anymore, to pay extra for it. Depending on your use, whether you do commute a lot day to day, then I'd recommend wall connector. Let's say you drive 40 minutes to an hour each way, so it's 2-3 hours a day, and that can really considerably drain your battery, then 100% would recommend the wall connector. But if you're driving your daily commute 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back, I'd recommend the mobile connector. It really just depends on how much of your battery you're using. Mobile connector is great. You don't need an electrician to come in and install an email outlet. You can literally plug it in a 110 volt outlet. The charge will be really slow. It'll take like 10-12 hours to charge from, 20 to 80 or something like that. But it works because you'll always outcharge based on versus how much you drive based on how much you're commuting each and every day. So mobile connector if you're commuting less, if your commute's small. Wall connector if you commute quite a bit every single day, like 40 minutes each way, and you need to fully charge up from 20 to 80 every single time. And I say 80% because you're not supposed to charge your Tesla to 100 because it's bad for the lithium battery. So I'll go with the mobile connector because that's my circumstances. I have a mobile connector. I don't commute a lot to work. I work from home. So I would pick the mobile connector, and I go in the office once in a blue moon. That's an extra $230. So when you go down here, then you'll see order your Model Y, and you see our delivery date has not changed. The estimated delivery date is January to February 2024, and it says your design qualifies for a $7,500 federal tax credit. So I think there's a price threshold in which you will be eligible for that incentive or not, which is one thing that's really good, is that Tesla automatically checks for you whether you're eligible based on the cost. Now there might be other factors to consider whether you qualify or not, but that's probably another video. So when I go continue to payment, then we go into financing, which is something I can give you good tips on. So before we jump into that, it's you can have the option to save your design, because let's say page crashes or anything crashes, you'll have your design saved. You have to go through the options again. But just to refresh, here are the options that we went with. We went with the Model Y long range, dual motor, all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is great in the snow. The rear-wheel drive may not be. So something I can vouch for because I've driven our Model Y in snow. We went with the Stealth Gray paint option, which is a brand new paint, and it's included, so there's no additional cost for that. We went with the 19-inch Gemini wheels, and that's the ones that have the aero covers, and which I recommended, you can always swap that out. And we went with the black and white interior, the extra, I think it was a $1,000 charge, and the 5-seat interior, which is also included. Autopilot. So this is the default autopilot. All Teslas come with basic autopilot, and what that means is your ability to select a speed. It'll lock that speed, and it will follow the car at a certain gap at that speed. It will slow down if it comes too close to the car, and so it's really great for highway driving. It's really good for highway driving. So basic autopilot is basically all you need. A very good autopilot that I've personally ever used. We also get a 30-day premium connectivity trial, which basically allows you to stream unlimited Netflix, Disney Plus, Spotify. You get satellite maps. You also get live traffic visualization. I made a whole video on whether it's worth it or not. If you want, you can check it out. But if you do find it's worth it, you will have to pay monthly for it, about $10 a month, after the fact if you do want to keep those features. So next we have three options. So cash, lease, and loan. So I'll walk you through all. So when you're starting off, if you want to get your Tesla, there's a little tips of the trade. Our Tesla advisor actually recommended choosing cash because Tesla prioritizes people that will just pay their vehicle outright, which makes sense. They want their cash right away. They don't have to go through an application process, and which means that you will most likely get your delivery as soon as possible. So I'd say select cash for now, even if you do not want to go to the cash option entirely, because who has $51,000 just sitting around? So with cash, select that now and then change it to either lease or loan. So when it comes to lease, in the configuration that we have, it'll be $445 a month plus taxes, which is not included here. You'll see it's excluding taxes and other fees. This is assuming you're putting $3,500 down for 3 years, 36 months, and your allowance is probably 10,000 miles per year. And this price assumes a $7,500 EV lease incentive. It includes the $1,390 destination fee, but it doesn't include taxes, which will be variable based on your state. And then when I go down here, you'll see there's an added price of the mobile connector plus sales tax, which is not tax, it has not calculated yet. And the order fee is non-refundable. So that's to say you place an order on your Tesla, you change your mind, the $250 is non-refundable. So make sure you really want a Tesla. But here's the caveat. I would actually not recommend leasing. So everyone has a different financial situation. The reason that we did not go with leasing is because with leasing, Tesla does not allow you to keep your Tesla, which is really strange because all car manufacturers let you keep your leased car. You have the option to buy it on the residual value, or you have the option to sell it. But over here, Tesla's like, nope, we're keeping it. So our Tesla advisor advises if you want to go for the lease option, that's an issue. So we personally didn't want to pay for a car and then have it disappear, give it back to Tesla, because it'll be like renting a car pretty much. So we went with the loan, aka the financing loan option, right? So here's a trick. So you wanna, I believe there's a 30-day window in terms of when you can qualify or should apply for a loan. So Tesla has their preferred loan lenders that they would work with, whether it's Wells Fargo. In Canada, it's a Scotia Bank, and they will offer you a deal rate, or the rate that they've worked out with Tesla. In this case, as of right now, it is 6.59% interest rate. And that assumes you're putting $4,500 down on your cost of your vehicle and 72 months. Okay, and this excludes taxes and fees, and it'll vary by state. And this will be your monthly payment, not including taxes, $792. And so something to consider. It is more because you're paying off the full, you're paying off the complete value of the car, whereas at least you're only paying off your 3 years worth of the car that you're choosing. You have the option to choose. I think that the general rule of thumb is you can probably vary in terms of your term, whether you want to do 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Typically, the rule of thumb is 4 years is best in terms of getting value for your money. Other thing to consider is longer your financing term, the more you're paying towards interest. So you want to keep it as short as possible. We went with 5 years. 4 years is even better because you'll be paying less towards interest and more towards the actual payment or the principal of the car. Okay, so here's how it works out too. So I'd recommend picking cash and then switching over to loan, and then hopefully they give you a good interest rate. And now if they don't give a good interest rate, make sure you shop around different lenders, different banks, and ask them, hey, you know, what can you offer me? This is the car we're purchasing, and ask them what's the best interest rate they can do and for what term. So make sure you read all the fine print, make sure you read the interest rate, what's your down requirement, and all those different things, right? So that's it. If you can jump into the whole federal tax credit in a whole video, but let me know if you're actually interested in me making that. And guess what? You can actually save some money, or I think you get 3 months free for full self-driving as of now. Tesla always changes this. You can, if you use my referral link. So I'll have my referral link down in the description. Hey, get some free self-driving. Why not, right? It's free. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions, and thanks for watching.